you had to come through a journey to reach Islam, and then to actually then get married to a Muslim. There's a reason why you're doing the work that you do. It's not just something that, you just thought, oh, you know what, this is good. Why don't I just help Muslims get married? There's a story behind it, right? So it'd be nice if you can just get a little bit about the person before we actually make a formal start, inshallah.
Yeah, so for those who don't know about my background, I wasn't born to any type of religious family. My family is extremely secular. In fact, there was a point in my life I was worshiping idols and just the wrong direction, with the wrong friends, with the wrong everything. And my parents didn't really have a problem with me not having any type of religion or not practicing any type of thing or even idol worshiping. They have no problem with it. That's how secular they are. So for me to become Muslim was a huge thing in the family. In fact, my wife later told me, says, hey, alhamdulillah, that say it, because how you became Muslim in this family, I don't know. Because your family is so off the rails when it comes, as we say here in the US, like the train being off the track when it comes to any type of religious thing. So for you to become Muslim in this family is very extraordinary. So my journey of Islam itself is very unique experience. But after I became Muslim, one of the things I want to do is try to help Muslims in a way that I wish I had help before Islam. Because when you don't have any direction in life, you can go in all these different, you have all the negative consequences that comes with it. So once you find the truth, you benefit from it. So now you want to be beneficial to others. And if you had to ask me, Baba Ali, what is like the one hadith that motivates you the most, that inspires you the most, that is what you're trying to be, and that is the best of you, is the person who's most beneficial to others. So those who interact with me know me from the days of Clubhouse or days on different social media platforms, or know me personally, know me that my whole idea of things is how can I be most beneficial to other people. And one of those ways was to help people get married, because I realized that is a huge issue a lot of Muslims are having. And if you can remove that burden off of their shoulders, then I think that's one of the greatest ways to be beneficial to others. Because we always talk about like, we're one ummah, but within the ummah, there are different communities, right? And within those communities, you have different families. And within those families, you're going to start off with what? How do you start a family? A husband and a wife. But if we don't even have the basic elements together, the husband and wife, how can we build families? How can we build communities? How can we have one ummah? Right? So while we're having all these fundraisers about, oh, we got to expand the masjid, or we have to build this, we have to build that, people are just trying to find their other half. Like, help us find the other half. And then you go to typical masjids, they have all these programs. They have programs for little kids. They have programs, Hifz program. We have a program for elders. We have a great speaker coming on Friday night. We have all these programs, but we have nothing for single Muslims looking to get married. And when they do, once a year, it's this haphazard way of, okay, everyone just talk to each other, like very little effort or thought put into any of it. And then they wonder why nothing's working. I asked myself, do we put the same amount of effort at work? None of us would be working today. We'll all be fired. So when it comes to a single Muslim getting married, oh, just any two volunteers, go volunteer and just put some program together. And those two volunteers, they don't know anything about this. They have good intentions. They have no idea. They're just given this assignment, and then they go out there and they are, okay, everyone, maybe you talk to each other for 3 minutes each and decide who you want to marry. And then we wonder why it doesn't work. Ask any married person, do you think this works? They'll laugh. They'll literally laugh. Then you ask yourself, okay, maybe it works, but we don't know. If you think how hilarious it is, think about this. Go to your coworkers at work and tell them what you did this weekend. Oh, I was looking to get married. What? That's like one of the biggest things in their life. You were looking to get married. How did you look to get married? Oh, we play a game of musical chairs, but we don't use music because it's haram. So what we do is we talk to each other for 3 minutes, and then we decide who we want to pursue for marriage. Seriously? Is that what your religion teaches? No, but we act like this is what our religion teaches, because every single mosque, every single Islamic center, every single organization, this is the exact process they use. Or we go online and we just do this. We just swipe. Well, what are you looking at? Oh, we look at their picture, their first name, their age, and the divorce status, and maybe what they do. There's 15 million people, so I got to keep swiping while we're talking over here. So it's like, oh, okay, that sounds really strange. It must be working, right? That's why you guys do it? No, it doesn't work. That's the best part of all. None of this works, but we just keep doing it because this is the way we do things. We don't do things that really work. We just do things. No one asks, no one questions. Maybe we're doing the wrong thing here. Maybe we should do different. So what people do is either they do this or they're like, I quit. Maybe marriage is not meant for me. Maybe I don't want to get married. I'm just fine being by myself. So it's both extremes. What about in the middle? Like what our Deen teaches us, like do things the right way, learn the right way. What happens to that? So that's the whole part that I trying to do. I'm trying to like, I don't think this is the way solution. I don't think the speed dating thing is the solution. I don't think the giving up and being by yourself is the solution. Why do we have to all these different extremes? Why can't we just do things like a normal way of doing things? So I'm here to propose a different way of doing it. And maybe for all those who are sick and tired of all this nonsense, maybe the different way will work. And I have a track record that I've given people advice, and most of those people are married. So hopefully, inshallah, I hope to be beneficial in this podcast and help you guys with some advice. Maybe that one little thing that says, oh, I never thought about it that way. Let me try this for a while and see if it works for me. A different mindset that you bring into it, inshallah. So yeah, I'm a convert who came to Islam and learned all these different things, experienced it myself, by the way. Look, the process of getting married, it wasn't easy. And I saw the flaws in the process. So I can either get married and say, okay, everyone else, you're on your own. Hopefully, inshallah, works out for you guys too. And everyone else is asking me, like, how did you do it? What did you do different? That's why I answered to my friends. And now hopefully, inshallah, I can answer it to you guys too, inshallah. So.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. One thing I do really want to touch upon here is before we start getting into the nitty gritty is I remember you saying in one of your videos.
Shehzad, your voice is your microphone. I can't hear what you're just saying right now. Last few seconds.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah. So I was just saying, I remember watching something, a little snippet of yours where you talked about coming to London to meet your, at that time, obviously she wasn't your wife, but, you went from, the other side of the world just to come and meet this person to see if this would be your, could this potentially be your, your spouse? And, I find that quite powerful because there's obviously we work with a lot of brothers and sisters. The work that we do, I think, in some respects, it helps to prepare people for an event like Half Our Deen. I'm not a matchmaker. I've never done anything like that before. I've never organized such an event. But what I do know is that too many of our brothers and sisters out there don't feel good enough to get married, or they don't feel worthy deep down in their core. And I think there's some blocks there at a psychological level, which are preventing them from, kind of achieving the marital bliss, the happiness, not just in their marriage, in so many different sort of areas of their life. But my question to you is that, like, it sounds to me like, you had a criteria, but at the same time, you were willing to go outside of the box and literally travel the other side of the world to go and see if this person is the right match for you. And I feel our brothers and sisters nowadays, if somebody was in London and they're in, California, wherever you are, straight away, that would have been, they wouldn't even spoken to the person, even if they ticked all the other boxes. So what would you say to that?
I think you can learn a lot about how serious someone is for marriage just based on their actions prior to meeting you. Like, I would ask myself, if I'm like, say I'm a female and I want to see, okay, if this guy is serious. That's one of the questions women ask a lot. How can I tell if the guy is serious? You have to say, okay, how much effort has he put in to put himself in this situation to even talk to you, right? And sometimes you just look at like the fact of, like, your example for me. A guy comes from Los Angeles, traveling to the UK, 5,000 miles away. That's halfway across the world. To speak to a sister, which I found genuine, sincere, kind, and unique qualities. Is there no sisters here in Los Angeles? Is there no sisters in America? Of course there is. Why am I traveling halfway across the world? Because there's something unique about her. There's something different about her. So I want to learn about her. And I'm showing you that I'm spending my own money to fly across the world just to have a conversation with you, to meet you in person, to meet your family, which I spoke to her brother in person, spoke to her family, all these different things. I actually showing that I'm actually serious about getting married to you. I want to learn more about you. And I didn't fly there to marry her. I flew there just to meet her family, meet her, learn more about her. And that shows you that he's genuinely serious. Now, if someone turned me down because, oh, I can have 20 more options, then I don't think the other person is serious, right? So I think, okay, if I can show you how much serious I am and you don't give me at least attention to have this conversation, then you're not even looking to get married. You're on this platform for validation. There's strange reasons why people use these platforms, by the way. All these swiping apps, I want you to ask yourself this question. Why is it the exact same experience for almost all of your friends? Like, think about it for 1 second. How many times you have, okay, let's say we're all looking for a job. And when you're looking for work, everyone had the exact same experience working, contacting this multiple employers for work. If everybody has the same experience, then something's not about you. It's about this whole system is broken. When majority of your friends are all having, like, I'm talking to people that aren't serious, people that are ghosting me, people that are married, people who are just playing games, people who are this, people who are that, all these different things going on. That's not a coincidence anymore. It's not that the platform or the thing is wrong. You are in the wrong place. You think everyone else needs to change. No, you are in the wrong place. If I'm in a place, in a pub, and everyone is just drinking or whatever, and I'm like, it's hard to find a good person here, maybe because I shouldn't be here. Because I don't belong here. I'm trying to find something that doesn't belong here either. So for me, it was, okay, where would my other half be? So what would my other half be into? What would my other half be doing on their free time? What would they not be doing? Where would they not be? Those are questions to ask yourself. You know, that's the way. So if you're looking for serious, if you want to see versus people who are serious, people who are not serious, here's a challenge, I think, of something that most people don't even think about. Think about it this way. Let's say you are asking me, not to Baba Ali, what works, which platform works, or which event should I go to works, or anything. You're not asking me that. You're asking me something different. You're asking me, I want to be fit. I want to exercise. I want to get into the shape of my body that I really want. Which gym should I join? Should I join gym A, B, C, or D? Which one works? And I'm like, well, different gyms have different equipment. Some of them have different programs. Some have personal trainers. Not all. Some have different prices. What is your goal? My goal is to get fit. So let's just use the same analogy of getting married. I just want to get married. Okay. But different websites and different platforms and different events have different structures. Let's see which, some of it has to do with the structure. You can't just, let's say I want to be a weightlifter and I want to gain big muscles. I can't just go to a gym and just run on the treadmill. No matter how much I run, I will not gain big muscles. Let me do the opposite way. Let's say I just want to lose weight. And all they have is heavy weights. There's no much, how much heavy weight can I lift to lose weight? You're not going to. So the structure has to be done the right way, right? The platform has to have the tools that you need to get married. Okay. But then the other half is you. This is the part no one talks about. You can join all the gyms you want, but unless you put in the effort and do things the right way, none of these gyms are going to work for you. I don't care how great their equipment is. So you can join this one, pay all the fees. You can pay the extra fee with the gold package and the diamond platinum package. And I pay this much money and I can't find anyone. That's like saying I joined 5 gyms. I pay the premium package, but I don't really go to the gym. So, but I'm not losing any weight. So you know what the problem is? I need to join a new gym. So I need to go find out the gym that works. It doesn't matter at this point. Yes, half of it is the equipment and the programs and everything they have to get to your specific goal, and the other half is you. So when you ask me the question of how do you tell someone like is serious about marriage and all these other things, how do they even come to the gym? And what effort are they doing in the gym? So we look at someone's profile on any platform, we'll tell you later. That's what they write. What are you looking for? We'll tell you later. Tell me about yourself. And it says, ask me. Well, I did. So to the platform, and you're not even answering the question. Why are you making me, every individual, ask you rather than you write what you're looking for? And even if you look at their profiles, this is the funny part, everyone writes the same thing. It's almost like they use ChatGPT to write the same thing. So everyone's looking, tell me who's not looking for someone who is kind, someone who's honest, someone who is sincere, someone who's close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who's not looking for that? So if you all put the exact same thing, just in your own words on your profile, how does that help me differentiate any of us? So really, I think this is where people are not explaining any of these things to us. This is why it's important for us to learn like what to say, what to do, how to express what you're looking for in the right way. So you're not just one of 15 million. You are different from different people on the platform. Because be realistic, how would anyone be able to tell the difference between person A, person B, and you on any platform? Well, you all write pretty much the same thing. I'm talking from a guy who runs his own platform. People write generally the same thing. That's why I thought to myself, instead of just asking them about me and about my match, which everyone does, what if when you're meeting people in person or you're online, you talk about like your personality, you talk about your priorities, you talk about your deal breaker questions, you talk about maybe some of the interests that you have. You talk about things that makes you you. You know, those are the things that stand out. You talk about like, and some of us may not know like this, like when you buy things, how do you buy things differently than other people? Like, so I generated questions when I talk to people for marriage that help me differentiate A, B, C, D, E, all these different people to the person that would match with me. And that's the person who happened to live in the UK. And that's the person I married 25 years ago. And I'm still married till today. So it's not rocket science. It's just, to me, it's just like, it made sense. So now I take that same system and I just try to give it to other people. Now you can take my system and do it anywhere. You don't have to join Half Our Deen to do it, but you can manually send it to people. But everyone on this platform, everyone who's here today, I'm going to be giving you guys something that, again, nobody else can do because everyone else is in it purely for the money. You can see from my intentions, it's not purely for the money. I don't get paid to be on this podcast. And today we're going to be giving out 1 year of HOD for everyone here. And I get nothing from it. Like, imagine your whole first year on HOD is free. If you join HOD, I get nothing out of it. If you cancel, I get nothing out of it. If it works for you, I don't get nothing out of it. And if it doesn't work for you, I get nothing out of it. Like, you just literally leave 3 months from now. I tried it. It was okay. The main point is to just make yourself available so people can discover you, but details about you, of the things that will make you different, so someone can see how compatible you are with them. I think the hardest part, I think, if you had to ask me, that people are, when they're single and they're looking to get married, is the mental exhaustion that they have. And what I mean by that is like, imagine like you guys are all looking for work again. I'm trying to do the work analogy. And in the work process, you have to give your CV or your resume to each company, right? That's what we do right now. You send your CV, your resume, or you have it online on your LinkedIn profile or some website, right? But imagine we removed all of that and nobody knows anything about you except for your first name, your age, your divorce status, your ethnicity. So every employer that contacts you, they ask you basic questions and you answer them. And by the time you go through all the details, maybe 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, they're like, yeah, you're not what we're looking for. And you're like, oh man, okay. Then you start again. And then you start again, and then you start again. And eventually, like, I don't feel like I want to do this anymore. You know what? I'd rather just be unemployed because the process sucks. And do you think to yourself, wow, couldn't there something be better? What if there was like detailed CVs or resumes online? So anyone who wants to, all these people are looking to hire people, they can read that first. And if that fits what they're looking for, then they contact me. Wouldn't that be better? Wouldn't that save me mental exhaustion so I don't talk to 50 people? I talk to one, maybe two, and then I get a job? That's what I did. I didn't want see, this sounds so crazy. When I was looking to get married, I said I'm not going to talk to like all like my friends and all these people. They want to go talk to like they don't want to, but they're talking to all these people. I don't want to do that. What do you mean you don't want to do that? Yeah, I don't want to do that. I just want to talk to one sister and marry her. And if you told that to people even today, they're like, that doesn't work. You can't just say, I want to talk to one person and marry them. I said, why not? I don't want to sit there on these websites and join 50 of these things and talk to people back and forth. No, no, no. I'm finding one person, marry them, and then make it work. I said, well, how are you going to do that? Well, first of all, I'll put my information on all these different platforms, as many as I can. And then I have this system of questions to filter all of the people who contact me down to the one person that answers the questions correctly. And that is the person I'm going to talk to. That's exactly what I did. So when I told my friend the same thing, he's like, okay, let me try this. He got married, 18 years. So recently, my other friend 2 years ago got married. So it's kind of like, okay, what is this process again? So the thing is, like, says you've been in, you say, Baba Ali, I do ask questions to people. Okay, what kind of questions do you ask? Assalamu alaikum, are you practice Islam? Do you pray every day? Are you a good person? Do you lie? I mean, people ask questions and they just hope that the other person is just going to answer honestly. And they're shocked. They're shocked when they get married and they realize, oh, you don't know who my ex was. They told me all these things and I found out who the real person was. Is that your ex or is that your process? Because if anyone can deceive you that easily just by your honor system, then what prevents you from being fooled again in the future? Your whole system is based on, oh, everyone's going to be honest, everyone's going to tell me what I want to hear. So what I tell people is my questions weren't like that. My questions were questions that didn't have right or wrong answers. For example, like I said in the previous podcast, are you more fair or more forgiving? They're both right answers. I have a preference. I want a wife who's more fair. Another person, my friend, wants a wife who's more forgiving. Now, if the same sister is talking to both of us, she can't give us the right answer because there is no right answer. She doesn't know what each of us is thinking. So you have to have questions that don't have right or wrong answers. And when you look at both answers that you're providing, they should appear correct to different people. That's the key. And Baba Ali, it sounds like a lot of work. It does a lot of work. But this is the biggest decision in your life. I mean, there's no other relationship that's going to be with you to the hereafter, right? So it's kind of like if after this life, if the righteous husband and wife are together, this is the biggest partner in my life and the hereafter. So you have to think to yourself, I need to put in the effort, not just trying, but my process has to have effort to help me find my other half. So I'll give you guys some sample questions of like what you guys can ask that there's no clear right or wrong answer for them because they think differently. Like you say, for example, what do you envision the role of the husband to be and what do you envision the role of the wife to be? Now, they don't know if you're a traditional Muslim or if you're a modern Muslim, so that's why they can't give the answer. You can ask questions about money in this way. You can ask questions, give me 3 things that you think people overspend on. And give me 3 things you think people should spend more money on, right? Like things that you think, okay, these are things that are important. And just by the way they think, you'll see their answers. I'll give you an example. A question that I may answer my way. It was like, well, give me 3 things that you think people should spend more money on. And I'll say, your mattress. It's like, that's strange. Why your mattress? Because you're going to sleep on it for 8 hours a day. So at least be comfortable. And your back doesn't hurt when you wake up in the morning, right? Tires or brakes. Why? Because I like, after my car is going, I like it for it to stop too. When the car doesn't stop, that's not good. And maybe like this, or maybe food, or like nice food, like food that is good for you, not just junk food, but food that's actually good for you. Like it costs more money. I would have to spend more money on that. You, based on those three answers, you think, okay, Baba Ali thinks about functionality. He has to think about comfort, and he likes food, but he may not necessarily be a foodie. He's not taking a picture of every food he eats, but he does like good, organic, healthy food. Maybe that's why he doesn't look 51 years old. But that's the thing. Now you ask somebody else, give me three things that you think we overspend on, and now you get a different idea of what they think. They say, "Oh, I think we spend too much money on X, Y, Z, and too much money on this." But maybe some of the stuff they think is people spend too much money on are the very things that you think we should spend more money on. Right there, you're discovering incompatibility. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't talk to each other for marriage. It doesn't even mean that you're not make a good husband or wife. It just means that we need to talk about this subject more. So yes, I know you want to spend more money. You don't care about healthy food or what. Like, I'll give you an example. Someone was telling me that drinking here in the States, they said, what's wrong with drinking water from the tap? I don't know if you guys say tap in the UK, but tap is right there from the water from the sink. And they're because they're watching me drink from bottled water. And I was telling him, well, the tap water here, especially in Los Angeles, is not very good. It has all these toxins and things in it. He said, well, it's fine for me. Nothing happened to me. No one's dying from it. So for them, I'm wasting money buying bottled water, but for them, tap water does. Now, if that is something that they think spending too much money on, is that a deal breaker for you? Is that going to make or break a marriage? No, it's not. But some people make certain things that are deal breakers for them. So that's why you need to ask questions to each other to see how important is this answer to you and how important is it not. Just because someone answers a question A, B, or C, it doesn't mean that that's something that it's important to them. They're just answering it because you're asking them. Like, for example, the role of the husband, the role of the wife. How flexible are you on this? And how strong do you feel about it? Right? So that's why it's important to go further and not just cross people off when you see something that does not that doesn't align with you. So, Brother Shehzad, is your camera working so we can
Yeah.
start the program, inshallah?
Yeah. So I just want to connect here with our brothers and sisters, mainly sisters, mashallah, that are joining. Like, in one word, I'm sure many of you are seeking marriage or have children or friends that are looking to get married. In one word, can you just describe like your emotions around the marriage search, the frustrations, the positives, the negatives? There probably won't be much positives, but let's just get an idea of what people are feeling right now in the UK. Obviously, most of you here are from the UK. What's your sentiments around the marriage search? I've seen some stuff in the comments already, but let's just see what's coming up. Hopeful, mashallah. That's a good one.
So you have hopeful, you have disappointed, overwhelming, chaos, worried, exhausting, disheartened, and hopeful, but seeing it as a test from Allah. Fearful, yes, subhanAllah. It's interesting how the emotions are so different, but everyone's on the same process of looking to get married, but people's experiences tend to also be different too. You know, it's funny while you're talking to people for marriage, and sometimes they could be very opinionated about certain things. You don't know what they've gone through to get to the point they are right now to speak to you. Awareness.
MashaAllah. Awareness now that you've shared some great insights. So mashallah, there's definitely some positive vibes coming out of you taking the time out all the way from the US to come and share what you've experienced and what you've learned from your own journey. We have tawakkul, we keep calm and carry on, mashallah. Sister Sophia, great share. Sister Sophia always makes great shares, mashallah. Alhamdulillah.
You know, having that trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I mean, when you have to believe in whatever system you're following, and you know it makes sense. It's not just because I just made something and this has to work. That's not tawakkul. Tawakkul is you put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, says, I'm going to try to do the right thing, oh Allah, because I am going to try to hold the standards I think you want me to hold, standards to get married to a right husband or a right wife. I'm not going to compromise my deen. That's what I mean by standards. That's having, no matter how easy it is to go the haram way, I'm not going to go that way. I trust the process of what I'm going through. And there's wisdom in it. When I was going through my own difficulty myself, I didn't understand at the moment. Why am I struggling with this, right? But after it was done, maybe years later, it made me reflect about that. If I didn't struggle through it, maybe I wouldn't be passionate about making a change.
Yep.
Right. So if you know someone like who's suffered from a disease that's a rare disease that no one knows about, and you feel that I lost someone from it, and why did I go through this? Maybe there's wisdom in it that you don't understand, that you bring more awareness towards that disease.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember you saying, Baba Ali, in one of your previous discussions around the fact that, and not many people know this, I don't think. You were actually divorced previously before you found your current wife.
Yeah.
I think that if you could maybe just share that, people will get a lot of inspiration from that. Sometimes there is barakah in the pain, you know?
Yeah. So you don't want that feeling ever in your life again. And you never want to talk bad about that person. And this is why most people don't even know about that, is because as much as I talking so much, I never talk negatively about an ex, because that's not my character. You know, even if there's no compatibility there, it's you can, when you're speaking to someone from marriage and all they're talking about is their ex, that means the real estate of the ex is still in here. They're divorced verbally, but it's still in here. And person's not ready for marriage. If I'm speaking to someone and the person has been previously married, I want to know for sure that you have learned from what you could have done better. I don't need to know about your ex, because I'm not marrying your ex, I'm marrying you. So what did you learn from that experience? Oh, I learned that my ex is terrible. You didn't learn anything. Because no husband and wife just break up. No real situation is like 100% one person. It's usually different things that different people do that bring the worst out of both sides, right? Otherwise, why did you marry this person? Then that tells me that your decision making is terrible. You don't know how to choose a spouse. So either this person that you're trying to sell me, that was a monster, and they're just the most they became monster overnight, or you don't know how to detect good people from bad people. So either way, it doesn't look good for you. So what is it? So instead of focusing on the negatives about your ex, show me what you learned and how you grew from it and how you became a better person. And I learned these are things not to do, these are things to do, and these are things I can do better. When you're saying things like that, that shows reflection, that shows growth, that shows a person that is improving, not a person who's just resenting. Because people have this resentment and negative feeling and they're talking just really, really bad, it sounds like a person is going to come with this negative drama that I don't really want to add into my life. I don't need that. If that's what marriage is, I'd rather be by myself. So that's one element of it. So that's why when I went myself going through the pain, I could have either taken two routes around it. I could have took the negative route and just have this negative tone from me from now on, or I can say, okay, this is what went wrong. This is what could have been done better. So the next time around, there are certain things that's more important than some of the superficial things that we look for. See, we're all wired, all of us, men and women, are wired for things that are superficial. It's just natural. Like men are naturally attracted to physical attraction. That's wired in them. Now, women have it too, but nothing remotely close to as important as men. So if you took a pie chart, 70% of it is physical attraction and 30% is everything else. That's why if they find someone beautiful enough or they're attracted to enough, they'll give them a pass on a whole bunch of things that they shouldn't give a pass about. Like okay, I don't need that. I don't need that. It's fine. I just want that, right? Women, on the other hand, it's not physical attraction takes 70%. No female that I've ever spoken to says physical attraction is 70% of my decision. The most you'll get is maybe 25%. What women care about superficially is oftentimes, even though they may not admit it, just like men may not admit it, is when it comes to their physical beauty, women's thing is about success, provisions, that kind of thing. So if a man is successful enough and makes good enough money, they will give him a pass on things that they shouldn't give a pass about. Okay, sometimes he has a little bit of attitude. Sometimes he can be stubborn about things. Sometimes he's not the best, he's not the greatest in Deen. Hopefully, inshallah, one day he'll start practicing more. That kind of stuff, right? They just have this hope that things will change. But he's so successful and making so much money, she just looks at her level of comfort. They don't realize that the negatives that come with that too. So the guy who's marrying the beautiful woman and the woman who's marrying the successful man, here's the thing that you don't think about, and I'm going to try to give it to you right now. It's something to reflect about. The woman who's very beautiful, she has gotten a pass in her life to do things, and she's living life on easy mode. She doesn't really have to have the best of character because people just like her. She's just naturally popular among girls, and she's naturally popular. Every guy wants to marry her, so she doesn't have to have a good character. So she never had to develop a good character. She can have an attitude. That process never corrected her, right? A person who's like okay, they're not a 10, like a 7. They can't have bad attitude. They can't just not take care of themselves and stuff like that. So they have to have other things about them, not just their outside appearance. On the flip side, the guy who's very successful, he's had all this money and all this attention and all these things that people praise him on. So he has a bad attitude too sometimes, or he can have a good attitude. But sometimes if he's had bad things about him, he doesn't have to overcorrect. He doesn't have to correct that either because he's got an easy path in life so far. So when people have been blessed with certain things, it could be physical attraction, or it could be like, it could either be physical attraction for the female side, or it could be success for the man side. They may not always have the best character. Now, that doesn't mean that just because you're beautiful or if you're successful that you don't have good character. It just means it hasn't had to happen. It has to come from themselves. But the rest of us, you can't just be like, you know what? Like imagine a guy who doesn't have any type of physical attraction. I mean, let's take it back. He's like a 7 out of 10. He's not bad. He's not good. He's middle, like 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. He has to have other things that bring quality for him, right? If he's not the most successful man, you better have some really good character. You better have other things about you as well. So if you're not the most physically attractive woman, if you happen to have other things that are quality that makes you extraordinary, that will make you stand out to make you marriage material. But you can't just say, I'm just going to be me. Like, I'm not going to improve anything about myself. I'm not going to make myself a good spouse. I'm just going to be me, and whoever wants to accept me with my attitude, my personality, my blah, 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 just take me as is. And a lot of people, by the way, single have that attitude. They carry that attitude with them. This is me. If they don't like me, then they don't deserve me. They have no problem writing a huge list of all the stuff they want in a spouse. But when it comes to themselves, they have no list of the stuff they're improving and stuff they're working on. So you have to be something that's good for them, and as much as you're looking for someone to be good for you. It can't just be one way. But today's society, we live in a very individualistic society where we think it's all about me, what I want. So we think when it comes to getting married, all I have to do is make a list. And when I make a list, I just have to manifest it, make a vision board, and just sit there and wait, and it'll come from me. And so far, how much has that worked out for everybody? If you think about it, like all this time that people have put this effort in, and they're exactly where they are. 6 months ago, same place. A year ago, same place. 2 years ago, exact same place. So what I try to do is say, look, this process doesn't work like this. This is not the real world. In the real world, you're going to be talking to people, and they come in a package. There's good things about you, and there's okay things about you, and there's things that you need to work on. Every single person, by the way, you talk to has that. The question is, which package do you want to be okay with marrying? Like my wife that married me says, Baba Ali is great and fun. He's entertaining. He's this. But then there's negative things that come with him, right? So you have to accept the whole package. There's many sisters that could never be married to me. Like all through the years, I was traveling quite a bit doing the Baba Ali stuff, right? I had to be gone a lot. And she was by herself trying to raise 2 children. That was very difficult for her. The other thing about me is like I take a lot of time doing other things, trying to be beneficial to others. That can make an impact based on who I've married. So if I've married a person that consistent togetherness is important to them, that will impact our marriage. But for my wife, it's her love language isn't uh, time together, quality time. Her love language is acts of service. So when I do kind things of actions for her, she feels loved. While another female, it's not the actions that I do for her, but it's spending time together, she feels loved. That's why it would work for one sister, but not for the other. Right? So for you, you have to find someone that works with your package, with everything that comes with you, the good and the bad. These are the great qualities you get with me. These are challenges you may have if your personality clashes with mine, and this is what marriage life will be like. So what I tried to do with Half Our Deen, because I think this is a lot of effort to do individually with each person, is if you answer all these marriage questions, and every single person on the platform answers all these marriage questions, when you click on someone's profile, it analyzes these things. It looks at your personality traits that you guys both describe yourselves as. It looks at your love languages. What's your number one? What's your number five? It looks at all these different things, and it tells you what marriage life is going to be like and what to expect if you get married to this person. Now, the majority of people love this idea, but they're like, why isn't more people doing this? Well, the reality is, majority of people looking to get married are not going to answer all these questions to get this analysis. They just want to do this. So my platform has very few people on it, and people are shocked. And they, well, I'm not shocked. If you go around talking to the people that you're looking to get married to, majority are not serious. So why are you shocked when the majority are not going to answer all these questions? But I tell them, like, if I was going for a university, I would expect to answer a lot of questions when you're like applying for a university. They don't say, okay, what is your first name, your age, your ethnicity? Okay, come on in. No, we need to see your grades. We need to see what you're doing. Write us a letter of recommendation. We need to have all this information before we even accept you in our university. This isn't a university. This is your future spouse for the rest of your life. You don't want to spend 2 minutes answering questions? You're not serious. You are not serious. And I'm not asking you like crazy questions. I'm asking you questions so I can learn in depth about your personality. It's questions, by the way, these are questions I notice most people don't even ask because maybe they don't know, but find out what type of, what kind of personality they can tolerate. Because I tell people, if you want to get married, find someone that you're attracted to. But if you want to stay married, find someone you can tolerate. Find someone that can tolerate your negatives. So if you're dealing with somebody, you got to figure out, okay, what negatives does this person have the ability to deal with? And different people are different. Some people can tolerate a lot. Some people can tolerate very little. And the other thing I'll mention here, and this is off-side topic, but I think it's important to discuss because this is something you're not going to hear on any podcast. You're not going to hear in interviews. You're not going to hear in speeches from sheikhs. And this is very important. There's a challenge why people have when they're older to get married. It's not the reason why you think. Now, some of you think it's harder for me to get married when I'm older because I'm older and maybe I don't look as young as before, and maybe because of this, and maybe because of divorce status. And most people think that's the reason why it's harder to get married when you're older. But for a guy who's been doing this for almost 16 years, spoken to thousands of people, and have interacted with so many people on live events, online, and single Muslims that I know personally, across the board, I have a very, very clear answer why it's so hard. And it's none of the reasons I just mentioned as even close to being the number one reason. The number one reason is as you get older, your level of tolerating nonsense becomes less. You enjoy your piece of whatever life that you have, so you're not going to compromise that for just anything. Your superficial things that you were willing to compromise on when you were younger, especially in men when it comes to beauty, women when it comes to superficial things, those have been reduced dramatically. And now there are certain things that I will not compromise on for my peace, for my personal happiness. So your level of tolerance is much, much less. When you're younger, you have more tolerance. So that's the challenge you have right now if I have older people looking to get married. they're much more pickier than younger people. They're much more selective. So you yourself can be as selective as you want. It doesn't make your process easier. So you have to realize that just because I have a lot of people to choose from, it doesn't mean allow me to be as picky as I want to be. I want to be selective and picky for things when it comes to Deen, but when it comes to other things, I can't be as selective. Now, people are going to tell you, no, 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 you can be as selective as you want. And all these people giving the same advice is going to keep you single. Because so far you've been listening to them, and look where it's got you. I'm not saying compromise your standards. I'm not saying your values. What I am saying is that sometimes we have certain things we call standards that are not really things that are going to make or break us. We can't just blame Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that it didn't work out. No. I can put like, okay, let's just say I'm looking for a job. And in the job that I'm looking for, I am looking for $500,000, 500,000 pounds as my first year income. These are my standard. What's wrong with having a good standard? Somebody else will say, well, brother, that's not realistic. Well, I don't care. This is my standard. Allah can give as much as He wants. They use this type of thing, misunderstanding of the Deen. They look at it this way, and I have tawakkul. I have trust in Allah. Allah will give me a job for $500,000, and I just sit here. And then the question comes, brother, what kind of skill set do you have to get this? Are you a brain surgeon? Are you some type of business owner? What do you have that? Nothing. I'm just normal. He's like, well, the company that's going to hire someone for £500,000 or dollars, they're looking for somebody who is exceptional or extraordinary. Until you become that exceptional, extraordinary person, you can expect these standards. You can make dua every day and night. It's not going to happen. And none of us in our normal life have this type of expectation when it comes to work. So why do we have it when it comes to marriage? It's the same Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we pray to and making dua to, but we have unrealistic expectations when it comes to marriage. But when it comes to work and everything else, we don't have that. It's the same dua. So anyway, something to think about, inshallah, as we're going through this. But just reflect about, inshallah, some of the stuff I'm discussing here, and maybe, inshallah, it will help you think about things a little bit differently, inshallah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, mashallah, some wonderful advice for people across the board, people struggling in their marriage search, maybe people who are newly married, some real, real food for thought. So, thank you so much for that, Baba Ali. I think, whenever I've spoken to you, I've always thought, you know what, there's so much more to cover. So, but want to respect your time as well. Mashallah, you've been on, alhamdulillah, for over an hour now. As we draw to a close, I would like to kind of put you on the spot a little bit. Of course, Brother Haroon has shared the link for people who want to join Half Our Deen. Brother Baba Ali has kindly offered our brothers and sisters in the UK 1 year's access. There's nothing in it for him. Most people that get married through Half Our Deen probably don't even write back to say, "Hey, I got married." Just they want to keep it private, and that's fine. But it's a nice touch. This is the point I'm trying to make, and I can't emphasize enough how important it is to step out of your comfort zone when these opportunities arise, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a free session, whether it's a membership to a portal like Half Our Deen, which is going against the crowd. The crowd is all going towards like speed dating and this kind of swiping culture. Half Our Deen are going the exact opposite direction, but the results are in black and white. If you look at the ratio, if you look at the percentages, the success rate for a typical Half Our Deen event, the last time I heard was like 60+%. I don't know if that's still the case, but that is amazing to be able to have that, the ability to measure the success rate just shows you how much thought is going into this whole process. So, I'm just saying, and I want all our brothers and sisters to get married. And I don't want brothers and sisters, I work with people all the time, right? I think I know a thing or two now at this stage. There's too many of you that don't feel good enough to get married. And there's too many brothers and sisters who are at a subconscious level blocking themselves, sabotaging their own growth. You've got everything going for you, but there's that inner child within you And sometimes it's, it could be down to your childhood. Maybe you had a parent who wasn't present for you, who was very controlling, who maybe had some narcissistic tendencies. Like we need to clear those subconscious blocks, because then you will reach your optimum. Then you'll reach a level where you're ready to give to your spouse and your partner, and not at the moment, too many brothers and sisters are thinking, what can I take? What can I take from this marriage? So what I really want to do here with you now, Brother Ali, is just put you on the spot and say, I always believe that everything comes down to three steps. Okay. Like it's the amount of times that I've tried, I've simplified things into three steps. I've lost count. I'm going to put you on the spot now and say, can you kindly give three nuggets, three steps, three things, like to our brothers and sisters, which will really definitely. I mean, you've shared so much, but just to simplify the whole thing and to end it in a kind of a very nice, reflective way, three things that you would give, three top tips. Doesn't, very just short top tips, which if they write this down, you know like they can inshallah start making steps straight away. They can start making progress.
All right, step number one. It sounds like common sense, but it's not very common. So here we go. Write down what you want in a spouse, and when you finish writing it, don't give that paper to anyone. Instead of
Can
saying,
someone
"Oh, this
write
is
these
what I'm
down,
looking
please?
for,"
Can someone write these down as well in the chat? Jazakallah khair.
yeah. So write down what you're looking for in a spouse, and instead of giving that paper to everyone else, what you're going to do is you're going to look at that list, and on the right side of that list, I want you to write down exactly what you're looking for, what that person you think would look for. So you can ask for a spouse and all the amazing qualities that you want in a spouse, but it's never going to come by itself, because if you don't become what that spouse is looking for, it doesn't matter even if you find them. So if you find them on the app, if you find them in person, if you find them through the websites or whatever, it doesn't. It's through family friends. Why would they want you? If you're a 9 or a 10, you want 9s and 10s. 9 or 10 does not want to marry a 4 or 5. So how do you make yourself from 4 or 5 to a 9 or a 10? So that's the first thing I do. Make the list, and then you draw a line, and then you look at this person who have all these qualities. What kind of spouse would they want? And don't just copy the exact words across, because what men are looking for, women were looking for, are two different things. Which brings us to the second thing. Understand what each gender is looking for. They're not looking for the same things. And the number one way I realize this, and I see this, is, and you'll see it from people, the people who do not know what women want and do not know what men want become what they're attracted to. So a woman becomes, and many sisters who are like, I'll talk about the men first because I pick on the women. The men become focused primarily on physical attraction. They're working out. There's nothing wrong with it. They're working out. They're focusing on these things. But when it comes to their education, when it comes to other things, they're building a skill set to make money and to provide. They're not working as much as their physical appearance. And as much as it's okay to be physically attractive, you need to focus more on those other things than your physical attraction. For the women, you'll hear words like, I'm strong and independent. Ask yourself, have you ever heard a man say, I am strong and independent in any profile, at any singles event, ever? So all these men aren't strong and independent? But how many sisters have you heard online, on TikTok, on Instagram, and they all start off with that in their opening statement? So why are women strong and independent, men are not? That doesn't mean just because you said. The reason why is because men don't look at those words the same way you do. They look at those things and those attributes, like you're saying, I'm strong and independent. Those are things you're attracted to. So you don't know what men want. So you just became the man that you want. You want to be someone, you want a husband who is strong. You want a husband who's independent from other people's thinking. You want a person who's a natural leader. So you became that person. And you're hoping that the opposite gender will be attracted to you. Well, what if the man becomes what he's attracted to? It's like he's looking for someone who's very supportive, highly agreeable, quote unquote submissive, blah, blah, blah. And he becomes like that, and you don't find him attractive. Well, what happened? Well, you're not attracted to your own gender. He's not attracted to his gender. So it doesn't work out for either side. So you need to understand, which is our second thing, what the opposite gender is attracted to, what they're looking for in a spouse. And you have to try to become that in the best version you can. And don't let these things that you see online, which is our number three, the things to discourage you. When you're going through website after website and see people who are better off than you, they look younger than you, more beautiful than you, they are more successful than you, whatever they are, this is not you, and this is not why it makes you unique or different. You, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, made special. You, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, made different. So all you have to do is let someone discover that side of you. All these people that this is not your competition. The only people, by the way, that are realistically that you have a choice of marrying are not the people you see on the millions of people. The only people are the ones that are open to marrying you too. So if all these people, I think, are more of a distraction. So here's what I have. I'll say the four ones. This is a bonus one. Look at the actions. This is what I said before when we did the intro earlier on. Look at the actions people are doing to show that they're serious about marriage. And every single person on this platform right now that's on this podcast, that spent all this time, hour and 30 minutes on this podcast listening, they're here for the same reason you are. They're more serious and they've been patient enough to listen to all this, right? This is a huge filter from everyone else is out there. Now the question is like, how can I learn about all these people today that are here in this chat and there are people that are listening? What if I can filter the 15 million people out? I don't want 15 million people. I just want the 15 people, 20 people, 30 people, whatever people of the opposite gender in today's chat, just for us to learn about each other and take away all this extra noise. So don't put me on a site with millions of people. Put me on a site with 20, 30 people. Put me in a room for 15 people that are serious about marriage rather than a room with 1,000 people that are not. So all these people who are going to have this free link that's in the chat, join it. It doesn't cost you anything. Cancel within a month. Okay, so it doesn't cost you anything. It's a 1-year membership on HOD. So if it works for you, you're going to quit. If it doesn't work for you, you're going to quit. I make nothing out of it. Okay, so only if you're here a year from now, then I'll start charging you. But for now, you have months of it and just cancel, right? But all of you who are right now listening to this podcast and they're chatting with each other have the ability of now being able to see each other's compatibility level with one another. Maybe your other half is here today, listening the same way you're listening, trying to learn the same way you're trying to learn, growing at the same time you're growing, and this is itself a filter. How do you get all these people to the people who are more serious? And now you not have to ask each person all these questions because everyone answers the questions just once, and then you click on a profile and it shows you how compatible person A and person B are with each other. And you can see what marriage life is like if you click on the analysis button. And it's all free. I get nothing out of it. This platform, Shehzad and Brother Harun, don't get nothing out of it. So all we're doing is for you guys, inshallah. Okay, so hopefully, inshallah, if it is works out, the one thing I do ask is that you keep me and the rest of the brothers in your dua for trying to do this. That's it. Maybe, inshallah, whatever I gain in this dunya, I can't take with me to my grave. But hopefully, inshallah, if it's something successful and beneficial from you guys, that you gain from this, then something that can be beneficial for me for the hereafter, inshallah.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair, Jazakallah khair. Some real pearls there. And thank you, is it Sister Tasneem, for writing them down as well, MashaAllah. And we've got a bonus fifth step here from Sister Tasneem saying, join Half Our Deen.
Yeah, again, I'm not selling you guys anything, so I don't make money off of this. I'm telling you because I really do genuinely want you guys to discover and learn about each other. So it's like every time people are trying to sell you a class or a workshop, I have nothing to sell you guys. I have literally nothing to sell you guys. The one thing I do have that's money that everybody else is paying for is Half Our Deen, and all of you guys that are here are getting that for free. So if you go to Half Our Deen and just type in normal membership, they're paying, it's still very reasonable, $84, just $7 a month. I think that's about £6 or £5 a month. Still very cheap compared to everybody else. But even that you're getting for free just because you guys are today's podcast. So there's no one's going to oversell you stuff. There's no microtransactions. You get full access as every paid member does, right? So just, again, keep me in your du'as if it works out for you guys, inshallah. That's the only thing I ask for.
Excellent, excellent, mashallah. What a breath of fresh air you are in our ummah. And alhamdulillah, Allah guides who he wishes, and you're certainly an asset to our global Muslim community. And it's really nice to see you taking time out for people in the UK, in Europe, because I think that they do miss out on what you're sharing and what you've got to offer. Unfortunately, there's only one Baba Ali. If we could cut him up or something, we could have a piece here. He did do one event here a couple of years ago, which I had the honor of attending. But yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult. I remember when we used to be on this platform called Clubhouse, I would every now and then I'd give you a little nudge, say, "Come on, do it online, do it online." But I think but Baba Ali sets very high standards, and if he's not able to replicate what he can do in an in-person event, he's not gonna do it online. I still disagree. I think you should, but alhamdulillah, it is
If
what
I
it
can
is.
find a better, if Shehzad, if I can find a better way of doing it online, like maybe I just haven't come across the right tool. So for those who are unfamiliar, because I noticed in the chat they're asking for half our Deen event as well. There's a website called Baba Ali with all the organizations that use my structure. I just post the event there when I go and I host the event, right? So these events that you see in these different cities, they're not Half Our Deen hosting these events. These are organizations that you're using the Half Our Deen structure, and they're asking me to host the event. So what makes it different, people may be asking for, some other people may not even know what we're talking about, is that unlike when you go to an event and it just has your first name on your name badge and you have 3 minutes to discover somebody, every single person is mandatory to have a Half Our Deen profile. And because it has that profile, on any person you want, you can click on the analysis button and it analyzes what marriage life is going to be like with them, the good and the bad. And it also generates questions between you and them because it sees the differences between each other. So instead of you answering the same questions over and over and over again, we ask everyone just once, and now it's there, and now it analyzes things. So it tells you things that you may not see, and you don't have to waste time with a bunch of people that are not compatible. So at the actual event, because we don't have to ask Assalamu alaikum, where you're from, what do you do type of questions, we actually do activities designed to help you see other layers of you. See, if you're an older sister, or if you're a very young brother in his early 20s, an older sister, you often can be invisible on the apps. You can oftentimes feel like I'm not good enough. How come no one sees me, type of thing, right? So I believe that if we just leave you just to the surface level in a 3-minute speed dating thing, all they will see is the surface. So if they like you, by the way, they only like the surface. They don't know you, right? So I figured if we design activities that allow you to see the other layers of you, then they may match with you. Now they learn more. Like sisters know this. Sisters know that guy could look physically attractive, and then once he starts talking, you're like, ew. Or the opposite. He's okay looking, but once he starts talking and his behavior, his mannerisms makes him more attractive, right? So just what's on the surface is not enough. But when you only have opportunity to have 3 minutes with someone, all you see is the surface. So the idea was to design activities where you don't see just the surface, you see the other layers of people. So I'll give you guys one example of an activity that you guys can do with other people, right? One idea for an activity, I'll give two activities that we did. One activity we did is like finding some really negative, I present the very negative traits and like 60 of them. And I ask you, which of these are you willing to tolerate in a spouse? I feel like I don't want to deal with any of these things. I don't want any of these things in a spouse. I don't want a spouse who's stubborn. I don't want a spouse who's selfish. I don't want a spouse this. I understand. Neither do I. But the future spouse you marry is going to have some negative traits about them. They could be really slow in getting ready. They could be really like this, really like this. They could be annoying. They could be silly jokes, something you don't like, right? They could be too serious, whatever. But out of all of this, you have to be able to tolerate some things. Tell me what you can tolerate. And really, people are like, wow, I never thought about this before. Exactly. Because that's when you marry somebody, and you're able to stay married is because you're able to tolerate those things. So by going through this and choosing these words, it gives you a moment of self-reflection. It also allows other people to learn about you, what you can tolerate, because maybe some of the stuff they're working on is the very thing you're trying to tolerate. Okay. The other aspect is that another activity that we do, again, nobody does this stuff. I'm the crazy guy who does this stuff, but people find it very beneficial. I say, we're going to have a simulation where you're talking to somebody, but you are going to be talking one-on-one and you're going to pretend you're married for 3 minutes. And I will present the argument you're going to have. For example, the argument you're going to have is your in-laws are getting very vocal about the way you're raising your children, and they're going beyond their boundaries. And your spouse feels uncomfortable, but they're not saying anything. But you feel comfortable because your spouse is not saying anything, and you feel uncomfortable because your parents, as much as you love them, and Islamically you're supposed to listen to them, they're going beyond what their parent boundaries are supposed to be. How do you deal with this? Husband and wife think differently in this because it's their parents. How are you going to deal with it? That's a real life discussion that you have to have. Another example would be that one of you has an amazing job opportunity, but you take you out of to move away. But then the other person says, our family and friends all live here. And you're like, no, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for us to better our lives. Or you always complain about why we live in such a small place, but we have to move to a different country or a different this. What do you do? These are things that may come up in a real marriage. So what you're going to do with this person you're sitting across from, you're going to argue for 3 minutes. And after the thing is over, you're going to realize, I cannot deal with this person. Or maybe I can, even when we disagree, I can deal with this person. Because you don't learn about these things until after marriage. And then most of the time, people are like, man, if I knew this earlier, I would have never got married to them. What if it doesn't work out, the marriage only lasts for 3 minutes. If it does work out, you're like, wow, this is when they're at their worst. And if this is one of the worst for them, and I can tolerate it, maybe this could be a possible person I can be married to. Because marriage isn't what you see on Instagram. It's not all the great things, we're having this together, we're so cute as a couple. No, marriage has tough times. There's going to be disagreements. There'll be times you don't want to talk to each other. That's real life. If you can deal with that side of it, the easy part is nothing. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why when I design activities, it can't just be, oh, okay, everyone talk to each other. That's not going to help you get married and stay married. My goal isn't just to get a bunch of people married and have quote unquote success stories on my platform. I want people to say 15 years later, I'm still married. And we have 3 amazing children together. Thank you. Because that's the kind of conversations I keep hearing over and over again about how Fardi marriage is. Not everyone's going to be successfully married, but a lot of them have. So I'm not trying to help you guys, give you some gems to help you get married. I'm trying to give you gems to help you stay married to the person that you're going to marry, inshallah. That's why I designed the activities. That's why these events happen to be so popular. This is why people fly to our events when they won't even drive to the local one or take a tube to the local one because it doesn't work. So, anyways, to answer the question, when is it coming to the UK? Sister Raquel, which is one of the people that was giving a shout out for today's program, she's the one who invited me the last few times, British Muslim Matchmakers, and she decided to do using the HOD live structure, and she's asked me to host it. So it's up to her. So whenever she wants to do it, and I think maybe probably summertime or something, they'll do another event. But just to give you a heads up, the last few times, I think over about 500 people have applied. And there's only 40 seats for men, 40 seats for women. And it's not based on trying to fill in a room full of like 1,000 people like you see on the other platforms. We put 1,000 people in a tent together. Yeah, again, that's successful for the organization because you're making money. But when you're only selecting 40 of each gender, then you realize the organization is not about money. It's about success because you're filtering down to the people who are more likely to be compatible with each other. So that's why we have 60% match. I think it was 60 or 65% match percentage at the last event. So if we just put everyone in a room together, there's no way we get that much success. It's the structure and the mindset of the people. That's why I do these type of podcasts to help. I want the people that resonate with what I'm talking about to talk to each other. You'll see people leave, this is not for me. I want to do this. And they'll tell you that. This is what I want to do. Okay, you're not for my audience. I don't want you on my platform. I want people who are different. I want 20 people on my platform that are serious about marriage rather than 100,000 people that are not. So anyways, inshallah. There's 14 different activities. Those are just 2 of them. So I do about 4 or 5 at every event. I mix them up a little bit. Some of the activities are you will see people stressed. That's on purpose, by the way. So I want to show you what it looks like when they get stressed. Different layers of people. But if you can deal with all the lowest side of people, you're like, okay, this is amazing. I can get married to this person, inshallah. So,
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair, mashallah. And like I said, I've been there and got the t-shirt. Like you go to this event, it's unique. I've never really attended marriage events, to be honest, but yeah, that was just something different. You get an idea about a person's mindset just based on the activities. And the beauty of it is that all the matchmakers out there, you can all come. You're welcome to try and copy and paste it, but you know what? You won't be able to. It's just very, very unique the way it's designed, the way it's done. Alhamdulillah, you've got to experience a HOD live event, and it's worth traveling the other side of the world. But if it's in your hometown or in your home country, you just need to be there. But inshallah, if Allah wills, that will happen again. And inshallah, we'll notify everyone. We'll be supporting Baba Ali's work on the South England Marriage Group. Guidance Coaching has always promoted Baba Ali's work, and that will always be the case, inshallah. I'm very, very kind of grateful for the space that I've had and the opportunities that we've had to connect with you, inshallah. Um, Before we wrap up, just need to just do some shout out. I wanted Baba Ali to do this, but I think he was saying, hang on a minute, that's a long list, right? It's gonna be difficult for you to read it, I think, from your
I can
device.
try to do it. I see on my screen here.
Oh,
I
you can
can
see
try to
it?
read out
Okay.
for everybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
All right. All right. This is a massive shout out and heartfelt duas. A huge and sincere thank to everyone who has supported, shared, endorsed this, uplifted this podcast. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you abundantly. Ameen, summa ameen. Special appreciation to South England Marriage Group, Mumsy, Harun's auntie Sophia, sister Tasneem, and auntie Fozia. Chit Chat Network, Dr. Laila, and Guidance. Coaching brother Shehzad, you know him. He's here. His voice you've been listening to. British Muslim Matchmakers, Auntie Raquel. That's his sister. I've been doing all these single events with every time I come. Nas and Company, network of groups, Matchmade Halal Group, Spouse Search Groups, Inshallah, Marriage Group, Sister Hina, Single Muslim Marriage Group. We have a lot of groups here, guys. More groups coming up. Uh,
MashaAllah.
ISA Birmingham and 40 plus groups, mashallah, that's really important because we want older Muslims to get married too. Chai Society, Sister Saria? Saria?
Mr. Syra.
Syra, sorry.
Yeah.
Aisha Mosque, Maidenhead Mosque, where one beautiful couple even had their walima on New Year's Eve as a result of this endorsement. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless their marriage with unconditional
Ameen.
love, mercy, and lasting happiness. Ameen.
Ameen.
And Dova Mosque, which is in Kent, Crawling Helping Hand, the Slough Modest Sisters, and Chihuahua and Giftos. And that's it. And Jazakallah khair for everyone coming out and listening to today's podcast. Inshallah,
Yeah.
we'll see you guys inshallah next time.
Inshallah. And a special thanks to Brother Baba Ali and Hafa Deen. And may Allah bless your work and give you more success and allow your work and your words to spread to the four corners of the world. Allahumma ameen.
Ameen.
Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you so much,
Jazakallah.
brother. May Allah bless you, inshallah. Thank you
Inshallah.
for
Jazakallah. Assalamu
thank
alaikum.
you to all of our Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you to all of our brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining. MashaAllah, wonderful turnout on this Thursday evening. Alhamdulillah. May Allah bless your Jummah, inshallah. Keep us in your du'as. Make dua for South England Marriage Group, for Guidance Coaching, all the people here. We pray for you all, inshallah. If there's anyone that has any questions, I'm more than happy to hang around for a couple of minutes as per tradition. And inshallah, happy to address that. Otherwise, inshallah, you're free to go and enjoy the rest of your evening, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Please do give us some feedback. What sort of speakers would you like to see? Alhamdulillah, more and more people are enjoying and coming on board, and we're getting really good speakers as well, really good guests who are really interested in joining. So, who do you want us to interview? Like, give us your suggestions, your feedback. How do you like the format? What would you like to see in terms of the way we do things here? And inshallah, we'd be happy to take this on board. There's some really, really talented people here in this group. I recognize some of the names. Sorry, I couldn't do a shout out for everyone. But yeah, we're happy to partner up with people who are like-minded. So please feel free to get in touch with either myself or Brother Haroon or one of the administrators. Unfortunately, we couldn't have Dr. Laila here with us today, mashallah, who also does a lot of great work. But yeah, any questions, feel free to type in the chat, or you can message me privately, or you can just unmute yourself and I'll be happy to, inshallah, address any questions or any observations or comments or feedback, inshallah. Amazing podcast, lots of gems from Baba Ali. Jazakumullah khair for arranging this and for your amazing work. May Allah reward you all abundantly. Ameen. Jazakallah khair for your kind du'as and your support. May Allah bless you. Thank you. Jazakallah khair. So, yeah, we'll just give it another minute or so, inshallah, just in case anybody has any questions, and then we'll end the session, inshallah. So there's lots of links that have been shared. There's a link to the South England Marriage Group, which I really would recommend you joining. You can have a free session with guidance coaching, inshallah, if you're stuck in your marriage search and you want to get some clarity. Now's a good time. Actually, Ramadan's around the corner. I find a lot of brothers and sisters actually switch off, when it comes to Ramadan, and I really don't think that's a good idea. You should be really switched on about your marriage search when it comes to Ramadan, because Ramadan is the time where, Allah is just saying, who wants the barakah, who wants the khair, you know so, and I know people that have, mashallah, gotten married off the back of Ramadan through their tahajjud du'as and meeting people. So yeah, inshallah, really, if it helps you, inshallah, we're here to offer you a free session which will get you prepared for Ramadan, inshallah. We only have 3 or 4 spaces left, so we'd be happy to share that, inshallah. Brother Ali's already kindly shared 1 year access to Hafal Deen. Yeah, you'd definitely want to take advantage of that, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Any questions before we end? Going once, going twice, going 3 times, inshallah. We'll call it a night there, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sorry, regarding Ramadan, I'm just saying we have 5 spaces available for a free session prior to Ramadan for people. 2 of those have been taken, I believe, so 3 sessions left. So if that's something you'd be interested in, you can get in touch with. I think the Calendly link was shared earlier. Otherwise, you can send us a message in either the WhatsApp group, or you can contact Guidance Coaching. We're on social media, on Instagram, on YouTube, Facebook, and inshallah, we'll be happy to schedule that for you. And yeah, inshallah, if there's any other kind of help that we can offer you, please feel free to get in touch. Okay, inshallah, we'll end it there. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.